Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. So once again, good evening, everyone. Today we are starting the revision classes for the microeconomics, just 90 minutes. So we'll try to cover all the important topic which can become in the tomorrow examination. In the same time, this lecture is one of the most important lecture for the UGC NET in Management, Commerce and Economics. So all those people who are preparing for UGC NET in Management, Commerce and Economics, in the same time the UPSC mains and the MBA, these lectures are the most important. In the same time, you can make it out the revision in the next 90 minutes. So let the other student may join, then we are starting the class in next 2 minutes. So we will not wait. And the classes gets recorded and it will be live. It will be in the my YouTube channel only. So after this lecture also, you can watch. You can make it out the revision. You can make it out the notes also. So we'll try to be complete the whole lecture within the next 70-75 minutes. So just wait for the next another 10-15 minutes. Then we're starting the classes, and we'll try to discuss all the important topics. So once again, already 50 students have been joined. So once again, good evening, everyone. Today we are starting the microeconomics classes, one of the most important topic for UGC NET Management, Commerce and Economics. And at the same time, all those people who are preparing for MBA in the same time UPSC mains. So we'll try to be start with the what is economics, what is the microeconomics, what is the macroeconomics. We will not be discussing in detail. We'll directly be starting with the what is all about the demand. Then we are coming in the bandwagon effect. We have certain effect within the demands. So we are starting with the what is all about the demand. I think everybody know what is all about the demand. It's directly impacting on the price, and it's directly impacting on the price and the demand in the same time income and the demand. So elasticity of the demand. So what is price elasticity of the demand? Is measures how responsive consumers are to price change. Elasticity is another word for responsiveness. That means what are the changes? Suppose that there are certain changes in the price by just 10%. What is the impact on the demand? That is all about the price elasticity of demand. The price elasticity of demand is all about percentage change in the QD divided by the percentage change in the price. So generalize the price elasticity is the basic simple formula what we have been already discussing in the class. In the same time, we have been discussing so many times the previous lectures. So this is all about the basic formula for the price PED, percentage change the quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in the price. So this is a very basic question. The price of product decreased from $10 to the $8. Suppose that prices of for particular product has decreased by $10 to the $8. As a result, the quantity demanded increased from 100 to the 150 units to calculate the price elasticity. Clear? So earlier the price was just $8, then it became $10. As in the same time, demand by increased by 10 to the 100 to the 150. It's a very simple. P2 minus P1 into the 100, 8 minus 10 divided by 10 into the 100. It's a minus 20%. This is all over the price. Now, in the same manner, we have to do percentage change in the QD. It is all about the QD minus Q1. That is 150 earlier. Price was the 100 rupees. It became the 150. Price was 100 units. Now it became the 150 units. So 150 minus the 100 divided by the 100, it became into the 100. It's a 50%. That means uh, the basic formula what we have been discussing in the last slide, PED is equal to the percentage change in the QD divided by the percentage change in the price. So what we will do, 50 divided by the minus 20 to 20. So it is all about the price. PED is all about the minus 25, indicating that the demand is elastic and demand is responsive to the price change. If suppose that questions are coming like this is a statement. If suppose we are giving in the question paper, how you are impacting, how you are analyzing, and what will be the impact on the demand, you have to be understand. The PD is minus 25 is indicating that means demand is elastic. Means there is a change in the prices, there is a change in the demand. Clear? Next is the same formula. Formula we have already applied here. So again the same question. Price of product decreased from 50 to $40. The quantity demand increase was 200 to the 260. That's the same you have to do. So we will not discuss again. So because the average quantity and the average price are used as the base for computing percentage change, the same elasticity result whether going from the higher prices to the lower prices or other way around. So there can be very basic question from the elasticity of the demand. So because the price and quantity demand are inversely related, the price elasticity has a negative sign. They tend to be the cumbersome, thus is to the commonplace to discuss the price PED as an absolute value. For example, absolute value of elasticity of for tacos will be referred to the 0.5 rather than the 0.5. So we have basic three categories under the PED. The very first category is all about percentage change in the QD. Suppose that percentage change in the QD is smaller than the percentage change in the price. Price elasticity has an absolute value that is called 0 to the 1. That means percentage change in the QD is a smaller. That means there are more changes in the price rather than the quantity. And the demand is inelastic. That means there is no impact of the price of the demand. Quantity demand is relatively unresponsive to the change in the price. It's very simple. Second condition is all about percentage change in the QD just equal to the percentage change in the price. Means suppose a 10% change in the price is 10% change in a QD. That is called perfectly elastic. Price elasticity is an absolute value. It means unit elastic demand. Third is all about the percentage change in the QD exceed the percentage change in the price. That means quantities has exceed as compared to the prices change. Price has changed by 10%. Or price has decreased by the 10%, but the quantity demand has increased by the 50%. That means demand is said to be the elastic, quantity is responsive to the change in the prices. It's a very simple. Total revenue is equal to P into Q, whatever the price. Suppose that price of the market is 10 rupees, quantity is 100, so 100 into 10 is become the 1000. TR will be the 1000. What happens to the total revenue when the price decrease? Suppose that price decrease, you have to be understand. If the price decrease for the marker, earlier was the 10 rupees for the price, 100 quantity, TR is equal to 100. If the prices decrease, overall revenue will be decrease. The lower the prices, producers get less for each unit sold, total revenue decrease. Lower the prices, sometimes what happens? Lower the prices, quantity demand increase, TR can be the increase also. So this is very simple what we have already discussed. So there is a very basic graph from the demand. You have to be understand in a one side price and other side demand. So once the prices is increased, accordingly you have to withdraw the graph as compared to the demand. Then we have the constant elasticity of demand curve. Perfectly elastic demand curve is a horizontal line, and the perfectly inelastic demand curve that is called vertical line. The unit elastic demand curve where the ED is equal to 1. It's very simple. So in case of the availability of substitute, the greater the availability of substitute for the goods and the closer the substitute, the greater the goods price elasticity of the demand. The number and similarity of the substitute depend how we define the goods. The more broadly we define a goods, the fewer the substitute and the elastic the demand. So sometimes demand becomes more elastic over the time. Suppose the price increase from $1 to the $1.25. DW shows the 1 week after the price increase, the quantity demanded has not changed much from 100 to the 95. Just 25% increase in the prices, but the quantity has decreased by just 5%. After 1 month, what happened? It has declined to 75. That is called 25% decrease in the demand. After 1 year, it became the 50. That means demand has decreased by almost 50%. The longer the time period, the larger the response to the given changes. You have to understand. There will not be any impact in the short run of the price on the demand, but in the overall the long run, it will be impacting. Then the same is just like with the case of income. Earlier, what we have been discussed about the price measures how the responsive demand is to change the income. As the income increase of the individuals, how it is impacting overall the demand of the quantities is equal the percentage in the demand divided by the percentage in the income. Just numerical will be same. So normal goods have income elasticities greater than the zeros. Demand increase when the incomes increase. We are talking about the normal goods. We are not talking about the given goods, not talking about the sin items, not talking about the luxurious goods. Clear? Just try to understand. So, but sometimes question may arise like this: would there a significant difference between the normal goods, given goods, or luxurious goods? How will you define the demand? So in a normal goods have an income elasticity is greater than the zero, demand increase when the income increase. The normal goods, very simple, normal goods with the income elasticity greater than the zero but less than 1 are called income inelastic goods. That means, again, I'm just explaining, all those goods which are normal in the nature, normal goods with the income elasticity is greater than the zero, that means greater than 0 but less than 1 are called income inelastic goods. Demand increase but not as much as does income increase. Suppose that income has increased by 20% but demand is increased by 10%. Goods with income elasticity greater than 1 are called income elastic. That means demand not only increase with the income increase but increase by more than does income. Suppose that earlier you used to be buy the 1 kg of the apple, your income has increased by just 20% but quantity demanded for the apple has increased by the 50%. That is called income elastic. The same formula like a price PED, percentage in the QD divided by the percentage in the price. So it's the same numerical. Initial income by 30,000 to 36, the 50 to 70, I2 minus I1, and Q2 minus the Q1. Again, you have to be, whenever you just want to make it out the income elasticity of the demand, you have to be divide percentage change in the QD divided by the percentage change in the income. Very basic calculation. The same formula you can understand. Yeah, it is again one of the most important topic. What is all about the cross price elasticity of demand? Since firm often produce an entire line of the product, it has a special interest. It has a special interest in how a change in the price of one product will affect the demand for the others. The responsiveness of demand for one goods to change the price of another goods is called cross price elasticity of demand. Suppose that prices has increased by the one product, how it is impacting on the demand of other product. That is called cross price elasticity of demand. Very basic, what we call one of the most important topic, defined as a percentage change in the demand of one goods divided by the percentage change in the price of another goods. Simple. If an income increase in the price of one good leads to the increase in the demand for another good, their cross price elasticity is a positive. These two goods are substitute. If suppose that question can be asked like this, not in an entry examination or any interview you are preparing for in the third semester, or all those people who are preparing for the UPSC or some other competitive examination. So in most of the times, demand questions raises from the cross price elasticity of the demand. Yeah, suppose that they are giving the question like this. There is a cross elasticity of the demand is 4.5 and 8.6. In the same time, for goods X and Y, in the same time for goods P and Q is a minus 2.6, minus 5.6. What is the conclusive statement what you are deriving from these two statements? So that means if cross elasticity, please note down, cross price elasticity of the demand is a positive in the nature, that means goods are substitute in the nature. That is called tea and coffee. If an income in the price of one good leads to a decrease in the demand for another, the cross price elasticity is negative. That means the goods are complementary in the nature, just like a car and petrol. Clear? in terms of the construction businesses, in terms of many products where the product are complementary in the nature, where the cross price elasticity of the demand will be negative in the nature. You have to understand, you have to note down this point. So if the question is raised, any time, if anyone is asking question like this, if it's a positive cross price elasticity and the negative, how you are making the conclusive statement. This is all about the basics of the supply, and again, I'm just going back to the demand, well, going back to the what we call effect, bandwagon effect, the snub effect. So bandwagon effect is all about this is the desire to be in style, however, goods because almost everyone else has it. It's or indulge in a trend. This is the major objective of marketing and advertising company like twice clothing, the mobile phone. It is all about the show off. If if suppose that your neighbor or your friend is bought any product and services, you are also buying those products. That is called bandwagon effect. But as more people buy the goods, it becomes the stylish to own it and quantity demanded increase further. So now, in terms of positive network externalities, in terms of bandwagon effect is all about your friend is bought any product and services, and the product became very classy, product became very fancy. You are also buying those products. That is called positive network externalities. Snub effect is all about if the network externalities is negative, the snub effect exists. In the sharp contrast to the positive externalities in case of the bandwagon effect, the snub effect reflects to the desire to own exclusive or unique good. Example, limited edition luxury handbag that losses its appeal to the snub consumer once it became more widely available. Just like in case of the Rolls Royce also, if the product is luxurious in the nature, everybody is dreaming, everybody is crazy to buy those products. Once the product is widely available, so automatically demand decrease with these many products. Veblen effects, certain goods are meant for conspicuous consumption like a jewelry. Though they are subject to the Veblen effect, the higher the price paid, the greater the satisfaction derived. So in terms of luxurious item, in terms of jewelry, you can understand the example of the jewelry under the Veblen effect. So demand is clear and supply is just like a same under the demand, and the formula would be remain same. So what is all about the suppliers? It shows the relationship between quantity demanded and the price. It's all about the in the same time citrus paribus other factors remain constant. The prices per box is a $5 per box. Quantity supplied millions of the boxes per year is a 18. One point of the time. More the prices, quantity is used to the more. As the prices has decreased, you have been decreased the quantity supplied. Very simple. So law of the supply, all other factors being equal, and the price of the goods increase, the quantity of the goods that the suppliers offer will increase and the vice versa. As the price of goods increase, supplier will attempt to increase their revenue by increasing the quantity offer. Automatically, if the prices of the product and services increasing, you will try to enjoy the more profit. You have for enjoying the more profit, what you have to do, you have to increase the supply. So supply curve is always upward sloping. Now, these are the determinants of suppliers. Technology is input price, price of related goods, government policy, and special influences. Very simple. So this is all about supply functions. QS is equal to a function of P, P1, PR. QS is equal to quantity supplied. P is equal to price of the goods. P1 is price of the inputs. PR is all about the prices of related goods. So what is all about the elastic supply? What is all about the inelastic supply? When the supply is elastic, the quantity supply is relatively more responsive to the change in the prices. When there is an impact of the prices on the quantity supplied, that is called elastic supply. In terms of the inelastic supply, when the supply is inelastic, the quantity demanded is relatively less responsive to the change in the prices. So greater than 1, relatively elastic, equal to 1, unit elastic, is less relatively elastic, then the infinite is perfectly elastic, the 0 is perfectly inelastic. So this is again the very basic formula, just like a demand. You can make it out the conclusive statement from that questions. So this is again totally rubbish. So again, next the consumer behavior and the utility analysis. What is all about the theories of consumer behavior? Description of the how consumers allocate income among the different goods and services to maximize their well-being. Everybody know in each and everybody is having some limited amount of money, but how you are spending those money, where you are spending those money, because each and everybody is having a different perception, each and everybody is having a different uses, each and everybody is having a different need. So you have to understand how consumers are allocating the incomes among the different goods. In the same time, you are looking for the apple, in the same time looking for the banana. So you have to understand under the theory of the consumer behavior, how you are allocating the income among the different goods and services what we are available in the market. So consumers is rational seeks to maximize the utility obtained by the consuming goods and services. Utility is that total satisfaction received by the consumers from consuming goods and services. Again, utility is a totally individual concept. Whenever you are buying or consuming any product, you are getting the more utility. In the same time, the same product I am just consuming, I am buying, in the same time I am consuming, I am just getting the less utility. So utility is total satisfaction received by the consumers, by the individual consumers from consuming goods and services. There are two schools of thoughts under the consumer behavior: cardinal and ordinal approach. So before that, we have to understand total and the marginal utilities. I've already discussed goods are desired because of their ability to satisfy the human wants. The property of goods that enables it to satisfy human wants is called utility. As individuals consumes more of goods per time periods, their total utilities or satisfaction increase, but their marginal utility diminishes. I may use the extra utilities received from consuming per additional units. This I think is very simple. So total utilities, if suppose that you are buying or consuming any product and you are getting whatever the utilities you are getting from the product one, that is called total utilities. And additional product you are consuming after that, and whatever the utilities you are getting, that is called marginal utilities. So total utilities of fixed quantity of the commodity given amount to the some commodities X. TU depend on the quantity consumed. TU refers to the total utilities derived from consuming n units of commodity X. Marginal utilities, the change in the total utilities due to the consumption of the one additional units of commodity. TUN minus TUN minus 1. Very simple. So total utilities, the zero scoop of the ice cream you have consumed, the utility is 0. 1, the 7, the 2 is 12, 3 is 15, 4th is 16. Fifth is after one point of the time it is started diminishing marginal utilities. So the fifth scoop of the ice cream you are taking, your utility has decreased from 16 to the 15, and 5 to 6, 15 to the 12. So 0 to 7, that is called 7 is the marginal utilities, the 7 to 12, the 5 is the marginal utilities, 12 to the 15, the 3 is the marginal utilities, 5. So marginal utility has decreased over a period of time as you started consuming the more products. So it's again basic, very basic, what we call, you have to be understand. Total utility is the total satisfaction, the benefit derived from the consuming a certain number of the units of goods or services. Initially, consumption increase, total utility rise, reflecting increasing satisfaction from point A to the point B. However, after reaching a certain point B, total utility begins to decline, signifying diminishing return and eventually dissatisfaction. It's a very simple. Marginal utilities, point B. Here you can see after that your total utility is increasing till time after that it has started decreasing. Marginal utilities to the additional satisfaction gained from the consuming one or more units of the goods. The blue line shows that marginal utilities start high but decrease as more units are consumed. This represents the law of diminishing marginal utility. This is very simple. The third is all about initial consumption, both marginal and the total utility increase. After a while, it has started decreasing. So point A is all about the initial consumption. Point B is a point of satiety. The point where the maximum total utility is achieved and the marginal utilities became 0. This is a point of maximum satisfaction. So what are the properties of consumer preferences? Preferences are complete if the consumers can rank any two baskets of the goods, just like we'll discuss in our further slides. Is all about the indifference curve. You suppose that you have to choose apple over on the orange or orange over on the apple. So A is strictly preferred B and B is strictly preferred to the A, indifferent or between the A or the B. So further we are moving towards to the indifference curve. This is all about what we have already discussed. QA is equal to the 100, the 170, then 220, 250, 260. 100 is the marginal utilities, then the utility becomes 70, then 50, then 30, then 10. It's a very simple. So limitations, I don't think so. We just need to discuss the cardinal utilities. Again, I'm just telling you, in a cardinal utilities, all about the utilities measurable and the quantifiable is a cardinal. You can understand it's in number, it's a quantitative in nature. Utilities can be compared. If suppose that there are two person are consuming same quantity, you can make it out comparison. What satisfaction, what utilities you are getting now, what I am getting. So it's measured in a monetary units. Some economists suggest subjective measures. Marginal utilities of money is constant in nature. So what is all about the limitations of cardinal utilities? Inability to the measure utility precisely. It's assumption of constant marginal utilities of money. No, there is no real world measurement scale where we can have to be understand the cardinal utility approaches. Law of diminishing marginal utility has exception for that. Simplistic consumer behavior assumption. It's all about the interpersonal comparison of utilities. So in ordinal utilities, we have three: consumer preferences, budget constraints, and consumer choices. Suppose that we have there are certain list of the product we have list with the specific quantities of one or more goods. We have to be understand, we have to explain the theory of consumer behavior. We will ask whether the consumer prefer basket one or basket two. In a basket A, we have 20 units of food. In the same time, we have 30 units of clothing. In basket B, we have 10 units of food. In the same time, we are preferring the 50 units of clothing. So you have to understand under the ordinal utilities what baskets you are choosing. So first is all about, second is all about the completeness. Preferences are assumed to be the complete. Consumers can compare and rank all the possible baskets. If suppose that you are having the many alternative and you have to choose one, so you have to understand, you have to compare each and every basket accordingly. You have to understand. More is better than the less. Goods are assumed to be desirable. Consumer allows prefer more of any goods to less. Consumer are never satisfied. Or everybody know more is always better, even if just a little better. That's what I have been done. I have given the very, in terms of the internal marks, I have tried to give the very good marks. Even all those people who got the 42, 43, they were looking for some more marks. And just third is all about the indifference curve. Indifference curve analysis, the new geometrical ways to analyze the consumer behavior. This approach was propounded by the Hicks and the Hallen. It measures the utility ordinal. In an indifference curve, schedule is a list of the combination of the two different commodities that yield equal satisfaction. The combination L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. But in the same time, goods X we have goods Y. So what combination you are picking? Goods X is suppose quantity 1, goods Y is a 18. In a combination of M, goods 2, but the goods by quantity has decreased. So in indifference curve, you have to be understand what is the maximum utilities you what maximum satisfactions are giving to you. If suppose that you are having these two combinations. The indifference curve is a diagrammatic representation of the indifference schedule. It is an indifference curve. It is a line that shows all the positive combination of the two goods between which a person is different. The indifferent map is the group of the indifferent curve, each of the which represent a given level of satisfaction. So in what you have to do in an indifference curve, you have to draw the indifference curve with the combination of the two products. If suppose that we have the indifference curve, indifference map is all about whenever we have the group of the indifference curve, that is called indifference map. If an indifference curve shift to the right, that means the level of satisfaction goes on increasing. In the same time, question might ask, if the indifference curve is shifting to the left, so what is this meaning? That means level of satisfaction is decreasing. You have to understand. The shape of the indifference curve, depending on the relationship between the goods being compared with each other. Suppose that you have two options, just like apple over the orange, then you can make it out the two parallel indifference curve. But in the same time, if you're just trying to make it out the indifference curve with apple with the certain product which is not relatively with the tea or the coffee, you can't make it out the parallel graph. So shape of the indifference curve, depending on the relationship, you have to understand what relationship what we have within the product and services what you are choosing. When the goods are substitute, the indifference curve will be less curved. If the goods are complement, the indifference curve will be more curved. If the goods are perfectly substitute, the indifference curve will be straight line. You have to understand. If a substitute will be less curved, if a complement, it will be more curved. Within the indifference curve, the goods are perfect substitute, the indifference curve will be straight line. Now, these are the assumptions of the indifference curve. Consumers act rationally, so the maximize satisfaction. There are two goods X and Y. Utility is measured ordinally. It is based on the aim of the diminishing marginal rate of substitution, that is called MRS. The consumer is consistent in his choice. If one time he chooses bundle A over on the B, he will not choose B over A in another time if the both bundles are available to him. Sometimes today you are buying apple over on the apple, but after 15 days, after 20 days, you might buy orange over on the apple. So this is all about the MRS. MRS is the rate of exchange between some units of the goods X and Y, which are equally preferred. So diminishing MRS is there is not an important topic, and this is all about the properties of the indifference curve. You have to understand what are the properties. The very first property is all about indifference curve as a negative slope. It denotes that if the quantity of the one community decrease, the quantity of others will be increase. If suppose that you are decreasing the quantity of the apple, automatically quantity of the orange will be increased. So if the consumer is to stay on the same level of satisfaction, if you just looking for the same level of satisfaction, so there will be increase or decrease in the one or another quantity. The quantity of the goods X increase in the combination, while the quantity of the goods Y remain unchanged, the new combination will be preferable. So the original one and the two combination will not be therefore lie on the same indifference curve, provided more of the commodities gives more satisfaction. Higher the indifference curve to the right of another represent a higher level of satisfaction. I already told you. Indifference curve don't intersect. Indifference curve are convex to the point of the origin. Indifference curve cannot be touched either axis or x-axis or y-axis. Indifference curve are not necessarily parallel to each other. Sometimes it's not necessary. The next is all about the budget line. The budget line is a line which shows all combinations of the two goods that a consumer can afford with a given income and the price of commodities. It is also known as the price line. Consumption possibility line and line up attainable. Suppose that an example of the budget line, suppose the consumer has an income of 50 rupees, it will be used to buy commodity X and Y. So derive maximum utilities from the said income, only the following options are available. Let's suppose that you have only the 50 rupees and you have the two combinations, you have a product X and a Y. So what product and services you are choosing and what combination you are making, that is called budget line. Clear? So we have a combination of A, B, C, D, E, F, the goods X and goods Y, 0 to 10. That's the 50 rupees. And in option B, you can buy goods X one quantity and goods that cost 10 rupees. 10 to 1 it become 10 rupees. And 5 into 8 it became 40 rupees. So it became 50 rupees because you have the limited income. You have a only 50 rupees. So what combinations you are choosing over on the X and the Y, and what quantity you are buying of the product X over on the. So what is the accounting cost? Actual expenses plus depreciation, charges for the capital equipment, economic cost of the firm for utilizing economic resources in production, including the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost associated with the opportunities that are foregone when a firm resources are not put to their best alternative use. Suppose that you have in the same time there are many people there attending the classes. In the same time you could spend these 60 minutes, 70 minutes in somewhere else. If suppose that you are getting some more profit in the class rather than what the time you were planned to be spent. So if suppose that you are not getting any benefit from the class, then you are losing the opportunity. In the same time, there are many people out of the 120 students we have in a two section E and F, only 70 or sometimes 75, only 60 students are attending the classes. So that means they are losing the opportunities. The opportunity cost in terms of costing, suppose that you have been choosing the MBA over on the some other degree. The cost associated with the opportunities that are foregone when a firm resources are not put to the best alternative use. Sunk that has been made and can't be recovered. For example, consider the purchase of specialized equipment for a plant. Suppose the equipment can be used to do only what it was originally designed for and cannot be converted for alternative use. This expenditure. Suppose that you are buying any product and services for your company, and that particular product and service is only the one time uses. After that, that particular product can't be whatever the cost you have been invested to buy that product. That is called sunk cost. Then fixed cost and the variable cost. Everybody know what is the fixed cost, what is the variable cost. Total economic cost of the production consisting of the fixed and the variable cost, that is called total cost. Fixed cost is all about buying the machinery, buying the building, buying the real estate cost, that is called fixed cost. Variable cost is all about the raw material, the salary you are paying, electricity you are paying, the building you are paying, that is called insurance, whatever the insurance you are paying, that is called variable cost. Cost that varies as the output varies. As you increase the output by 10 to the 20, automatically the variable cost will also be increased. So what is all about shutting down? Shutting down does not necessarily mean going out of the businesses. By reducing the output of the factory to the zero, the company could eliminate the cost of the raw material and much of the labor. The only ways to eliminate the fixed cost would be the close to the doors, turn off the electricity, and perhaps even sell off the machinery. Sometimes whatever the product and services you used to be sale, but there is no demand for those products. Just like a sticklo exists, we understand. The question can be arise like this: what is all about the fixed cost? What is all about the variable cost? Over a very short term horizon, say a few months, most of the costs are the fixed. Over such a short period, a firm is usually obligated to pay for the contracted shipment for the material. Over a very long-term horizon, say 10 year, nearly all costs are the variable. Workers and managers can be laid off, and that much of the machinery can be sold off, not replaced, it becomes obsolete and is scrapped. So you have to understand what is all about the fixed cost, what is all about the variable cost within the. Then the marginal cost, we have discussed so many times in the class. Marginal cost is all about additional product, produ- 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 producing the additional product, whatever the cost incurred, that is called marginal cost. It's increase in the cost resulting from the production of one extra unit of output. Suppose that you used to produce the 100 product in a day. Now you have been increased the production for this more quantity. So whatever the cost incurred to produce two additional quantity, that is called marginal cost. Because the fixed, what happened in the marginal cost? Because the fixed cost does not change. Suppose you are paying the rent for the 24 hours, so fixed cost will be the same. The fixed cost does not change if the firm level of the output changes. Marginal cost is equal to the increase in the variable cost or the increase in the total cost that result from the extra unit of the output. But as it's a very simple, it's very basic common sense. Whenever you are producing any additional units, automatically there will be a requirement of raw material. That is called variable cost. There will be increase in the variable cost, automatically there will be a. So marginal cost is all about the delta in the total cost divided by change in the quantity. So this is a very outputs 0, 1, 2, 3 till 11. Same, that is called fixed 50. Variable costs dollars per year 0, 50, 78, 98, 112. Total cost it is all about the fixed cost plus variable cost. It become total cost 50 plus 50, 50 plus 50, 50 plus 78, 50 plus 98. Marginal cost is earlier the 50, then 100, then 128. 128 minus 128 minus 100, that is called 20. The 148 minus 128, that is called 20. Then average fixed cost, that you have to make it out the what we call uh, fixed cost divided by the quantity. 50 divided by the 1 is the 50, 50 divided by the 2 is the 25, 50 divided by the 3 is the 16.6, 50 divided by the 4 is become 12.5. Average variable cost, again in the same manner you have to do the same thing. So what is all about the measuring the cost? Which cost matters? Forms total cost divided by the level of the output. Average fixed cost, total cost, fixed cost divided by the level of the output. Variable cost divided by the level of output. So what is all about the cost in the short run? The change in the variable cost, the per unit cost, the extra labor, W times the amount of the extra labor needed to produce the extra output, delta L. So because delta VC divided by the delta L is follows that delta VC upon delta Q. Change the variable cost divided by the change in the quantity. This is you have to understand cost in the short long run. Cost of the capital, annual cost of the owing and the using a capital asset equal to the economic depreciation plus foregone interest. Thus, the usual cost of capital is given by the sum of the economic depreciation and the interest that could have been earned and the money being invested elsewhere else. Clear? Suppose that you bought machine from those amount of the money which you had, you are getting the only 10% return. If you have invested those money somewhere else, so what you could get the return from those money? What the interest you could get? The usual cost of capital is equal to economic depreciation plus interest rate into multiply by the value of the capital. This is very simple isoquant. There is no requirement for this. Yeah, this is you have to understand long run versus the short run cost. Long run average cost and the marginal cost. When a firm is producing at an output which the long run average cost is falling, the long run marginal cost LMC is less than the LSC. You have to understand long run marginal cost is less than the long run average cost. The very basic also is very basic common sense also. The long run marginal cost is less than the long run average cost. Conversely, when the long run uh, average cost is increasing, when your overall long run average cost is increasing, LMC is greater than the LSC. Once in the long run perspective, your LSC will be increased automatically, your LMC will be more than the LSC previously. Thus two curve intersect at point A and the LSC curve achieve its minimum. This point of where the overall long run average cost will be the minimum. Now, what is all about the economies and diseconomies of the scale? As the output increase, the firm's average cost of producing that output is likely to decline at least to a point. I discussed economy of scale so many times in the class. Once output will be increased, automatically the per unit cost will be decreased. This can happen for the following reasons. The firms operates on larger scales. Workers can specialize in the activity at which they are most productive. Scale can provide flexibility by varying the combination of input utilized to produce the firm's output. Managers can organize the production process more effectively. Clear? So, what is all about the economy of scale? Economy basically is all about when the overall production will be increased, automatically per unit cost will be decreased. The firms may be able to acquire some production input at a lower cost because it is buying them in large quantity and can therefore negotiate the better prices. It's a very basic. Whenever you are reaching out to the mandis, you buy the 1 kg potato, prices will be always high. Buying the 100 kg or 200 kg of potatoes, automatically prices will be decreased. You can negotiate the better prices. So at some point, however, it is likely that average cost of the production will begin to increase the output. So there are three reasons for shift in economies of scale. At least in the short run, factory space and machinery may make it more difficult to workers to do job effectively. Managing a larger firm may become more complex and inefficient as the number of tasks increase. The advantage of buying in a bulk may have disappeared once certain quantity are reached. At some point, available suppliers of key input may be limited, pushing their cost up. So, what is all about the relationship between the short run and the long run? This is all about the graph. You have to be understand the Q0, Q1, Q2 is all about as the quantity increase, automatically cost of the product is going to be decreased. So it's all about the long run average cost curve LSC. It's a blue line I'm just talking about. LSC is the envelope of the short run average cost. SSC1 short run average cost 1, SSC2 short run average cost 2, short run average cost 3, and SS3. With the economy and diseconomy of the scale, the minimum point of the short run average cost curve don't lie on the long run average cost curve. You have to understand this point. So what is all about the break-even point? What we have already discussed in the class. Suppose that a firm sales. This is all about the important topic. There are many people who are talking about the important topic. I've been discussed, but you have to be listen to the lecture very carefully. There are certain topics, there are certain places where I've been told it is one of the most important topic, which these questions can be come into the tomorrow's examination. So this is all about the break-even point question. It can be asked like this: a firm sells a product is 180 rupees per unit. It has a fixed cost of 2500 rupees. The average variable cost of 140 per units. How many units must be firm produced to the break-even point? That means fixed cost is 2500 rupees, and the variable cost of 140 per units. The firm sale is a 180 per units. The firm selling the product at a 180 rupees per unit. Then what you have to understand, how many quantities you have to produce to reaching out to the break-even point. So what you have to do is all about the TR is equal to TC. TR is equal to total revenue. I'm just talking about total revenue is all about the. So quantity is all about the 180 plus Q. TC is equal to fixed cost plus fixed cost is all about the fixed cost is all about the but 2500 rupees. Variable is the 140 and the quantity you don't know. Then you have to understand TC is equal to TQ. So this 140Q is going to the right side. So 180 minus 180Q minus 140Q is equal to 2500. So 40Q is equal to 2500. The Q is equal to 2500 divided by 40. It is becoming 62.5. This is all about a dummy question. So so since unit produced can't be the fraction, the firm need to be the producer 63 units of if the rounding is required. So these questions can be arise in the question. It's a very basic. It will not be take more than just 2 minutes. So the very first thing you have to do, you have to make it out the TR is equal to the TC. Total revenue is equal to the total cost. Then that is all about the break-even point. The break-even point is all about where there is no profit, no loss. This is again the very simple question. You can make it out that you can do the practice. Then the theory of production. Theory of production is all about the firm engaged in producing the physical production, offering a service. Production can be defined as the creation of the output. Production is the transformation, the input in the output. Transformation can be the 3 types. Change in the form, change the space, that is the transportation, change in the time, that is the storage. So production is not all about in terms of the only manufacturing. Production can be in terms of the service industries also. In airlines, we are producing such services. In teaching, we are producing services. So sometimes what we are doing, we are acquiring the raw materials, we are shaping, we are making out the transformation from input to the output, and we are coming with the final product. So sometimes we are using the space in terms of transportation, in terms of the storage also. So what is all about the theory of the production? Production involves the transformation of the inputs such as the capital, equipment, labor, and the land into the output goods or the services. The production process, the manager is concerned with the efficiency in the use of the inputs, technical versus economical efficiency. There are basics two concepts under the efficiency, economic efficiency and the technological efficiency. We have been discussed so many times in the class. Production function is one of the most important topic. What is all about the efficiency under the production function? What are the different stages of production function? So what is all about the economic efficiency? Occurs when the cost of producing a given output is as low as possible. You just need to minimize the low cost. What HUL is doing, what Maruti is doing, what there are so many companies, what Coca-Cola is doing, what PepsiCo is doing, what Geo is doing. There are certain companies across the globe, they are just following the concept of economic efficiency. The other is all about the technological efficiency. It occurs, it's not possible to increase the output without increasing the input. But there are certain cases where you have to increase the input, then only you can increase the output. Suppose that you just want to increase the more revenue in the airlines, you just want to increase the more revenue in transportation businesses, you have to increase the supply. You have to increase the more supply, more seats. Suppose that you are having only one flight from Delhi to the Bangalore, which consists only of 100 seats. You can't increase the revenue with only 100 seats. You have to increase the more frequency. The flights are 4 flights in a day, 5 flights in a day, 6 flights in a day. Automatically, 100 into 6, it becomes the 600 capacity. So you have to, there are certain technological efficiency. You have to increase the input, then only you can increase the output. This is all over the two concepts of the efficiency. So next is the production function. The form purchase the input, transform them into the output, and sell the output in the open market. Production function explain the relationship between the maximum quantity of the output that can be produced from given amount of the variable input within a given technologies. So what we do in a production function? In a production function, we just try to maximize the output as per the whatever the inputs we have. So Q is equal to F into K into the L. K is all about the capital and the labor. We have to understand what combination of the capital over on the labor. So we have to play with the capital and the labor, and we have to maximize the output. That is called production function. So what is all about the concept of the product? Is all about the total, average, and the marginal is again the same, just like a cost. Total product is all about, suppose that you are producing the 100 product in a day, that is called total product. Total product refers to the total amount of the output produced using the given quantity of the factors, assuming other factors to be the constant. That is called total product. Average product can be defined as the total product per unit of the factor employed in the production process. Suppose that you are deploying the only 4 unit of factors, so I am producing the 100 product, 100 divided by 4, so average product will be the 25. So mathematically is all about the average product is equal to total product divided by the number of the unit of factor employed. Then the concept of the product is all about just like a marginal cost. Marginal product is an output, is an extra output added by the one extra unit of that input while other input are held constant. If suppose that other factor will be remain constant and just increasing the certain raw material, then whatever the product you are producing, additional product you are producing, that is called marginal product. Mathematically, when the labor is increased by the delta L, suppose that only 10 labor were working under the one manufacturing firm. Now you have been increased, the firm is remain same, machinery are same, buildings are same, but what you have been done, you have changed the labor from 10 to the 12. So that 2 additional labor which you have been increased, what product they have been produced, that product is called marginal product. So output increased by the delta Q unit, that is called marginal product, can be represented as delta Q divided by the delta L. This is all about the concept of the product. Units of labor, total product is 75, marginal product is 75. Total product 160 minus 75, it became 85, 255 divided by the 9 minus 160 is 95. Average product is equal to 75 divided by the 1, it became 75. 160 divided by the 2 is 80. 255 divided by the 3, that is called 85. 360 divided by the 4, that is became 90. That is called average product. That means total product divided by the units or quantity, that is called average product. Very simple. Further, there are basic 3 stages. Again, I am just telling you one of the most important topics. to understand, not for the MBA examination, for all the people who are preparing for any competitive examination, always question arises, question comes from the production stages. So we have basic three stages under the production. MP is equal to AP, marginal product is equal to AP. You have to understand from this particular slide. If the MP is equal to AP, that means TP is increasing. What is this meaning? Total product is increasing. In the second stage, in the very second stage, MP is equal to 0, marginal product is 0, TP is maximum. You have to understand here, MP is 0, your total product is a maximum 505. Very basic. Third, in the third stage, MP is negative and TP is decreasing. Here you can see your MP is minus 13, your TP has decreased. Very basic. So there are basic three stages of the production. MP is equal to AP, TP is increasing, MP is equal to 0, TP is maximum, MP is negative, TP is decreasing. Just note down, recall, remember, this is one of the most important topic for all the competitive examination. They ask like this only. Then the short run, the long run, production requires not only the labor, capital, land, but also the time. The two different time periods also refers to the theory of production to take into consideration the role of the time in the production, short run, the long run. The short run variable factors can be changed. The fixed factor can't be changed. You can't, suppose that you are starting one manufacturing plant, you can change the variable factor in a very next day and after 10 days, after 20 days. But you can't start the new buildings. You can't buy the new machinery. In a short run, what is the variable? Only the certain variable factors can be changed, fixed factor cannot be changed. But in long run, all the factors are variable factor. You can change anything. Got it? So next is all about the diminishing marginal return. In the short run, the units of variable factor increase, the marginal product of that factor goes on diminishing. You can, again, you have to verify that particular chart what have been shown to you. The law of variable proportion has many applications. The law is applicable not only to the agriculture but also to the industry as well as. This is again the MP is equal to 0, TP is maximum, MP is negative, TP decrease, and AP is maximum and the AP is equal to MP. Now again the simple we have already discussed. First stage, second stage, third stage. You just draw the graph. You can understand from the graph also. Total product, the very first graph for the total product, other graph is for marginal product. Clear? Got it? Any doubt? This is again one of the most important topic. So stage 1, short run production is stage 1 arises due to the increasing the average product. As more of the variable input is added to the fixed input, the marginal product of the variable inputs increase. Most importantly, marginal product is greater than the average product, which causes average product to the increase. This is directly illustrated by the slope of the average product curve. Consider this observation about the shapes and slopes of three product curve in the stage 1. So MP is greater than the average product, MP initially increase, and the decrease until it's equal to the average product at the end of the stage 1. Here you can see. Then stage 2 and stage 3, which we already discussed in a very short. You can read these three slides. So this is all about the return to the scale, constant return to scale, increasing and decreasing. Just very basic. Increase in the all input leads to the proportional increase in the output or vice versa. Increasing return to scale, when increase in the all input leads to the more than the proportional increase in the output or vice versa. Decreasing return to scale, when it occurs when increasing the all input leads to the less than the proportional increase in the output. Suppose that in a 30, suppose that you increase the input by 100%, but your output has increased by only 80%. That is called decreasing. Increasing is all about you have been increased the input by the 80%, but output increased by the 100%. Constant is all about the same. This is a very basic, no need to be understand the isoquant. Then and the further we are moving towards the quick market structure is all about you have to be understand. We have market structure is all about how you are doing the marketing within the product and services. So we have market structure is categorized into 4 different market: monopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic, and perfect competition. Monopoly is all about the one or only the one player which is running the market, and oligopoly we have very few sellers and many buyers. And monopolistic, many buyers and many sellers. And perfect competition is all about the very many. In terms of the monopoly market, restrictions are blocked. Nobody can enter. It's all about regulated by the government only. In oligopoly, restricted. You can enter, but you have to take the permission from the government. Just like airlines, just like insurance, just like a banking, just like a telecommunication, you have to take the prior permissions from the government. Then only you can enter in a oligopoly market. Monopolistic is all about unrestricted. Anytime you can enter. Perfect competition, again, there is no rules and regulation. Anytime you can enter. Nature of the product under the monopoly is unique. Oligopoly differentiated or undifferentiated. Monopolistic, a differentiated product. Each and every people are selling their different product. Perfect competition, homogeneous. This is again one of the important thing you have to understand. Implication on the demand curve. It's a downward sloping, more elastic, inelastic than the oligopoly. Downward sloping, relatively inelastic. Downward sloping, but relatively elastic. Is the horizontal, is the price taker. Average size of the firm in the monopoly, I have already discussed. There is only one seller in across the country and across the respective state. So its firm size is very large. The oligopoly is large. Monopolistic is small. The perfect competition again is very small. In terms of possible demand curve, possible consumer demand is very highly elastic. And the oligopoly, there is an elastic. There is not much impact on the price on the demand. Monopolistic is very elastic, and the perfect competition is highly elastic. And in terms of the profit making possibilities, is economic profit in a short and long run, losses to normal to the economic and short run, economic in a short and normal. You have to understand the example in each and every categorization of the market structure. Example of the monopolies all over the Indian Railway, Indian Post Offices, the State Electricity Board. Oligopolies all over the banks, telecom, airlines, petroleum product, insurance. There are so many companies, there are so many industries which is coming under the oligopoly. Monopolistic is all about the FMCG, consumer durables, electronics. Perfect competition is all about all those people who are running the unorganized market, just like a fruit market, dairy, fish, and fish market. Control over the prices in terms of monopoly, they have the full control over the prices. In oligopoly, they have significant control. In the monopolistic competition, they have some, and the perfect competition, they don't have any control. And next is all about what is perfect competition. I've already discussed perfect competition. Describe the market structure whose assumptions are strong, therefore unlikely to exist in the most real world market. Perfect competition all about the homogeneous product. Product is there are perfect substitute whenever you're reaching out to any mandis or vegetable mandi, fruit mandi product are perfect substitute. All forms have access to the factors of production. Large number of buyers and sellers. Free entry and free exit. Anytime you can enter, anytime you can leave. Free, perfectly elastic demand curve. It directly impacting on the price of the demand. It directly impacting the income of the demand. Perfect knowledge about the product and services. Profit maximization assumed to be the key objective. This is all the demand curve under the production perfect competition. Short run equilibrium under the perfect competition. In the short run, perfect competitive prices firms maximize the profit where marginal cost equal to the marginal revenue. Clear? In short, whether in the long run or short run, they are in a perfect competition. We always more concerned about the price. Just need to be remembered. So perfectly competitive firms maximize the profit where the MC is equal to the MR. Since the firm is the price taker, MR is equal to the prices. Marginal revenue is equal to the prices. For profit maximization rule, the firm produce at the output level where the MC is equal to MR, that is the price. The short run profit or losses, the price is greater than the average, price is greater than the ATC, firms earn economic profit. Price is more than the ATC, firms earn economic profit. Price is equal to the ATC, firm is reaching out to the break-even point. If the price is less than the ATC, firm incurs losses but may continue operating if it covers its variable cost. If the price is less than the average total cost, firms will try to be in operating in the nature till the time it covers its variable cost. But one point of time, it will not be recover the variable cost. You have to shut down your businesses. This is very in the other is a long run equilibrium. In the long run, due to the free entry and exit, firms will enter the market. The existing firms are making profit, increasing the supply and driving the down prices. Firms will exit the market if they incur the losses, reducing the supply and driving the prices. The long run equilibrium occurs when the all firms are earning zero economic profit, that is equal to price equal to the ATC. You have to understand this statement: price equal to ATC. So firm will be exit because there is no long run in a perfect competition because it's totally free entry and free exit. You are reaching out to the mandis in the morning. You have to be sell whatever the product and services you have been bought, and you are earning the profits in the same day. So the long run equilibrium occurs when all firms are earning the zero economic profit, that is equal to price is equal to ATC. So this is the graph you have to understand. Profit area is all about the above the ATC. The purple dashes line represent the price where the firms makes a profits. This is all out I'm just talking about. The shaded area between the price line and the ATC curve indicate the firm's profit. Loss AT is equal to EB. The orange dashboard represent a price where the firms incurs the losses but continue operating since the price is average variable cost. You are running in the losses, but you are continue operating in the market since till the time when the prices is more than the average variable cost. The centered area ATC between the ATC and the price line shows the firm's losses. Clear? So this is the what we call area, which is called losses area. Shutdown point, the black dashboard, the this is what we less than the black dashes line represent the prices where the firm should shut down because the prices is below than the average variable cost. Your average variable cost is 100 rupees, the price is 80 rupees. Meanwhile, it can't recover its variable cost. You have to shut down your businesses. So after this, that is called just above than the 2.5 and less than the 5. Then what you have to do? You have to shut down the businesses. Second is all about the monoplastic competition. We have discussed so many times the monoplastic competition in the classes. Monoplastic competition is a market structure with there are many firms selling a differentiated product. Just like I've been giving the example of watches, giving the example of the textile, FMCG, consumer durable is an example of monoplastic competition. There are very few barriers to the entry. Four distinguished characteristics under the monoplastic competition: many sellers, product differentiation. We are differentiating on the product what we are selling. Multiple dimensions of the competition, ease of entry of the new firms in the long run because there are no significant barriers to the entry. So anybody can enter, anybody can leave. So output prices the profit of the monoplastic competition. Like a monopoly, monoplastic competitive firms has some monopoly power, so the firm faces a downward sloping demand curve, just like a Pepsi and Coca-Cola. So marginal revenues below the prices. At profit maximizing output, marginal cost may be less than the prices. So monoplastic competition market structure, in which there are large number of firms, there are product produced where different firms are differentiated. There is entry and exit or occur easily. So what is all about the product differentiation? It implies on the basis of features, on the basis of color, on the basis of whatever the product and services we have. So it implies that the products are different enough that producing the firms exercise a mini monopoly over the products. The firms compete more on the product differentiation than on the prices. Mobile phones, if giving the example of the mobile phone under the monoplastic, how the Samsung is differentiating with other Oppo, Vivo, or some other Android phones. So how we are differentiating rather than the price, we are differentiating on the basis of features. Entering the firms produce a close substitute, not an identical or standardized product. You can make it out the same product and services. You have to be make it out the close product. There are many series. So it's a differentiated. You have to differentiate the product from your competitors. Multiple dimensions of the competition. One dimension of the competition is product differentiation. We are differentiating what is all about the point of different and point of purity and the pures under the monoplastic. It is all about the product differentiation on the basis of the features, on the basis of the certain product differentiation. We are differentiating from the other competitors. Easy entry of new firms in the long run. There are no significant barriers to the entry. Just before few years, we have very few number of brands of mobile manufacturing companies in India. Now we have more than 100 mobile companies are running in the market. So because there is no barriers, the barriers to the entry prevent the competitive pressures, but ease of entry limits long run profits. In the short run, you can enjoy the profit, but in the long run, you can't enjoy the profit under the monoplastic competition. So this is you have to understand monoplastically competitive firms price in the same manner as a monopolist. MC is equal to MR, marginal cost is equal to the MR. But the monoplastic competitor is not only a monopolist but a competitor as well. As in a monopoly, we don't have any competitor, but in the monoplastic we have a competitor. The very first condition is all about above the normal profits. In this case, price is above than ATC. This is the ATC. Price is more than the ATC. Profit maximizing output Q1 is allowing the firm to earn economic profit. This is the shaded area is all about the economic profit. So MC curve, marginal curve. This is the MC curve. Marginal curve intersect the MR. MC curve intersect the MR curve at the point B. Determine the output Q1 is Q1. But at the quantity, the firm charges the prices from P1, which is higher than the ATC. So your price is more than the ATC. The difference between the price and the ATC multiplied by the quantity give the forms of positive. So whatever the ATC, suppose ATC the 8 rupees, suppose 10 rupees, quantity the 5 rupees, 10 into the 5 it became the 50 rupees. It is all about the positive profits. So in the normal profit, in terms of the monoplastic competition, in the normal profit you have to understand your price is more than the average total cost. Your price is more than the marginal cost, which is you have to be understand. And sorry, economic. First is all about the abnormal profit. Second is the normal profit. Normal profit is all about its average total cost is equal to the average total cost. Price is equal to the ATC. That is called normal profit. MR, the intersection of the MC and the MR is point we give the profit maximizing, where the firm earn the normal profit. So this is the condition MC is equal MC and the MR where they are intersecting. It is all about the firms and the normal profit. The normal profit occurs when the TR just cover the TC, meaning that firms breaks even but does not earn the economic profit. This is considered the long run equilibrium in a perfectly competitive market. This is you have to understand. So normal profit occurs when the TR just covers the total cost. So whatever the total revenue you are earning, which is just covering the total cost, that means you are earning the only normal profit. So there are two conditions you have to understand. You can note down ATC, where the MC is equal to MR, the point we give the profit maximizing quantity, and in the same time, average total cost is just equal to the price. Clear? Price is just equal to the average total cost, and your TR is just recovering your total cost. Third is all about the economic loss. In this scenario, average total cost is your average total cost is more than the prices. Automatically, it's very basic phenomena, basic common sense you have to be used. Your ATC is average total cost is more than the prices, that means you are running the losses and you have to shut down your businesses. That is all about the economic losses. Marginal cost curve intersect the marginal revenue curve at a point B, determining the profit maximizing quantity Q1. So there are three conditions you have to understand. In the very first condition, normal profit P1 is greater than the ATC. Clear? And in a normal profit, P is greater than the ATC, and your total revenue just covering the total cost. But in economic losses, when you are facing the economic, the question can be arising like this: when you are facing the economic losses in a monopolistic competition, where your ATC average total cost is more than the prices, or that means you are running the losses. You are the economic losses. This is next is all about the oligopoly market. We have discussed oligopoly in detail. I took almost 5 to 6 lectures to complete the oligopoly. Oligopoly is all about again that there are very few sellers and many buyers. It's a market form in which the market industry is dominated by the small number of sellers who likely to be aware of the actions. Others can influence the price or quantity sold. The assumptions of oligopoly: there are very few large firms. Firms interact with each others. Firms in oligopoly don't act independently of each other. They are interacting with all those people who are running the oligopoly market. Product differentiation: firms sales almost similar products. They engage in a competitive advertising. They engage in a brand marketing. Whatever the product and service, whatever the services you are taking from the Geo, in the same time, the same services we are getting from the Airtel also. But how they are competing? They are competing on the basis of advertising. They are competing on the basis of brand marketing. They're creating their own brand. They try to be convince the customer that their product is a better as compared to the competitor. Yes, collusion. Yes, one of the most important topic you have to understand is a collusion agreement among the firms to divide the market and set the price and the limit the production. The collusion is all about, it is an agreement when the two or more firms, again I'm just telling you, collusion is all about when it is an agreement between the few firms to divide the market to set the price or limit the production, that is called collusion. Example is all about the OPEC, Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. So firms may pursue the objective other than the profit maximizing. So once a certain level of profit has been earned, the firms may concentrate on the increasing their share of the market. Once they are reaching out the somehow at the still the profit, now they just want to increase the market share and prevent the government intervention. As we know in oligopoly, you can't start any businesses under the oligopoly market. You have to take the prior permission of the government, then only you can enter. There are certain barriers to the entry into the industries. So first is all about the economy of scale. But we have been discussed economy of scale so many times in the class. You can't economy of scale again one of the reason behind to the entering in the oligopoly market. Clear? Because nobody can compete with Geo, nobody can compete with what we call Airtel. So it's quite difficult to achieve the economy of scale. limit the pricing. They have set the prices. You can't keep the higher prices. If you are keeping the higher prices for the any telecommunication company who is starting in India, nobody can be saved. If you're keeping the low prices, you at a very early stage, you don't have any customer. You can't keep the low prices because you already spent the millions and millions of dollars to buy the spectrum. So you have to keep the higher prices. Once you're keeping the higher prices, you can't get it that many customers. So it's quite difficult to the economy of scale, the limit pricing, control over the channels of distribution. Only and these many companies like a Geo or Airtel or Indigo or these many people have the controls over the channel of distribution and the brand proliferations. Barriers to the entry I've already discussed. Large firms produce on large scale and they benefit from the decreased cost per unit. They are producing in a very large, automatically per unit cost has decreased. If a new firm tries to be enter into the market, existing firm that is well established can afford to lower the prices to deter them. Suppose that you just try to be entered in the market, keeping somehow the same price, the low price. So what all those firms which are already existing in the market, they can decrease the prices just like a Geo. So limit the pricing is an agreement between the firms to set a relatively low prices to make it the unprofitable to the new firms to enter the industry. So all those firms who are dealing now what we call oligopoly market, they've already made the agreement. They already set the low prices. So new firm can't be entered. They have the control over the channel of distribution. It's all about the brand proliferation, market saturation, consumer liability, higher cost for the entrants, and other is all about the economy of scale. The types of oligopoly, we have homogeneous oligopoly, we have differentiated oligopoly. In homogeneous oligopoly, we have the firm produce identical products just like petrol, steel, aluminum, cement. Differentiated oligopoly is all about the airlines' banking products. So this is all about the Cardinal model. I don't think so. It's important, even though you have to be understand board because there are certain faculties, there are sometimes there are many faculty who don't teach the Cardinal model, these many models. So at least Cardinal model is all about on the basis of the quantity. Each firm decide how much to produce, assuming that output of competitor is fixed. Battery is all about on the basis of prices rather than the quantity. Each firm setting the prices for the product, assuming the competitors are prices are fixed. The second model is all about the based on the quantity. One firm, the leader makes the output decision first. Suppose Geo is the market leader in terms of telecommunication. Geo is setting the quantity, and other firm has to be follow the same thing. One of the most important topic again, the king demand curve. You have to understand what is all about the king demand curve. With the response to the prices, when the response to the price changes is asymmetric, the one firm raises its prices. If suppose that one firm raises the prices, competitors will not be follow. It will lose the market share. Clear? Suppose there are two companies like Airtel and Geo. Suppose that as few months back, that Geo has increased the monthly tariff, Airtel has not increased because if the competitors will be increased, the competitor will follow the same thing, so they can lose the market share. However, if it lower the prices, competitors will follow. But in the same time, the Geo has decreased the prices. What has Geo has done back 2016? During that time, everybody was selling the what we call data 198 rupees for the 1 GB. During that time, the Geo came to the market, tried to sell the 4 GB data for the 6 months. It was totally free of cost. After that, it came 200 rupees for the 1 month for the 1 GB data per day. So everybody has to decrease the prices. So what is all about the assumption of the king demand curve? If the one firm increase the prices, competitor will not be follow. But other firms is decreasing the prices, competitor has to be follow and leading to the price war. Got it? So other is all about the mechanism is firms in the oligopolies tend to maintain the price stability to avoid the losing customers or starting a price war. So firms in oligopoly tend to maintain the price stability to avoid the losing customers or starting a price war. The kink in the demand curve causes firms to keep prices relatively rigid. Got it? So this is all about the kink demand curve. You have to be understand. From the figure, we know that prevailing price level is a P. The firm produce and the sale the output is equal to the OM. This is all about the also the upper segment DP. The demand curve is elastic. Lower segment PD is all about the demand curve, relatively elastic. The differences in elasticity due to the assumption of the king demand curve. So you have to be understand how we make the king demand curve and what is the significance, what is the assumption of the king demand curve. Already discussed. If one firm has increased the prices, so other firm will not be follow because they are what we call thinking they can lose the market share. But one firm has decreased the prices, so you have to follow. It might lead to the price war. Then the price literacy model is again the same thing. That the cartel is all about. Yes, I've been discussing the cartel so many times in the class. Cartel is all about the firms and oligopoly collude to act as a monopoly. Sometimes how the oligopolies can create the monopolies in the market. So whenever business want to create the oligopoly, being an oligopoly, how we can create the how can we create the monopoly in the market? Through the cartel model, we can create the monopoly in the market. So what we are doing under the oil cartels, what I've been giving the example of what we call Middle East, I've been giving the example of GCC, Gulf Council Corporation. So how they've been created the cartel, everybody is going to be sell the product the same going to be sell the crude oil at the same rate. The quantity would be remain same, so there will not be any fluctuation in the prices, because everybody knows the crude oil prices is totally depend on the demand, not totally depend on the supplies, the supply side prices. So what we are doing, we are under the cartel model, we are fixing the prices or limiting the output. This is illegal in many countries, but can occur in an industry within a small number of firms. What is all of the mechanisms of the cartel model? By agreeing on the prices of production of quotas, firms can maximize joint profit at the expenses of consumer, similar to the monopolistic competition. So cartel lead to the higher prices and the lower the output compared to the competitive market. So this is collusion and the cartels under the oligopoly. Collusions represent attempt by firms to recognize their interdependency, act together rather than the compete. So each and every people who are in a collusion, they are working, they are acting as together rather than the independently. The collusion can see the move towards a joint profit maximization. Collusion normally requires control over the market supply of a community, because there are all those people who are under the oligopoly market, they just want to create the cartels. So whenever you just want to increase the prices, you have to control the supply. So the over collusion, this is the creation of the prices fixing arrangement. The producer's cartel responsible for allocating the output supply within the market. Tactics collusions dominate firms' price leadership. One firm prices change are matched by the other firm. So what if the one firms are setting the prices, and other firm has to follow. One of the most important topic, the collusions and cartels and oligopoly in demand curve. What is all about the barometrics firms leadership? The firms leaders is the one just to have his knowledge of prevailing the monopolistic competition. So what is all about the price fixing arrangement? Price fixing arrangement. This is an example: airline industries, electronic companies, and pharmaceuticals. Collusion is very easier when that there is only very small number of the firms. The industry has substantial entry barriers, large number of the customers, total market demand demand not two variables. Firms output can be easily monitored. Price discounts and are cartels the public interest, and other it's all over the monopoly. We've already discussed what is all about monopoly. I just need to be go, and by 8:30 I have the different lectures for the UGC NET management commerce economy, which is the planned lecture. So as of now I just need to be go. So everybody know what is all about the monoplastic, but here is one of the most important topic under the monopoly, that is all about the price discrimination. First degree, second degree, and third degree. So price degree, this is monoplastic minimize the loss of the short run. You can understand, and the short run decision price discrimination. Yes, first degree is all about on the basis of on the basis of all the people who are paying the higher amount of the money, they are getting the price discrimination is all about the for the same product and services we are keeping the different prices. And auction is all about the IPL auction is an example of first degree. Second degree is all about the whenever we are buying any product in a quantity, automatically prices will be less. Third degree is all about we are discriminating the prices on the basis of age, location, student discount. The same cold drink we are buying from retail outlet, the shopping mall, the cinema hall, the airport, within the aircraft, automatically price is different. It is all about third degree discrimination. The conditions for the price discrimination: market power, market segmentation, no arbitrage. So this is all about the lecture, and I'll be sharing with one of the most important what we have been discussed, and these are the most important topics for the today's upcoming examinations. Again, I'm just telling you there are certain chances where the numericals can come. Numericals can become from the demand or cross elasticities, or what we call economy of scale. In the same time, start from the demand, the supply, the indifference curve, then the what we call market structure, the perfect competition, oligopoly, monoplastic, and the what we call monoplastic and the oligopoly. In the same time, we have to discuss the production function. Also, first stage of production functions: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So once again, thank you so much for joining. Goodbye, take care, and all the best for examinations. And I've already shared the PPT. Again, I'll be sharing. If you're requiring any help, you can send the message over on the WhatsApp. We'll try to be taking out your queries after 10:30 because 8:30 to 10:30 I have one classes for the UGC NET in the management, commerce, and economics. So once again, thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Take care.